Is COVID-19 humanity's green mile? I want you to imagine, if you will, that you are a prisoner in solitary confinement on death row. You were convicted and sentenced just a few weeks ago, and now you are confined to your cell, waiting for that moment when the warder calls to walk you down the green mile towards awaiting old Sparky and a horrific death. You don't know what you've done to warrant a death sentence, and nobody will tell you. You thought that the death sentence had been abolished in every civilised country, but now you see throughout the world that there are millions like you. You remember the writings of Franz Kafka and hope that this is a nightmare that will end soon. Your cell is comfortable, with reasonable facilities, and food is placed outside your door at regular intervals. You can even phone, Skype, or WhatsApp your friends whenever you want, but no one is allowed to visit you. You are allowed only one exercise per day, and you cannot mingle with any prisoners or warders. There's a television in your room showing programs which give you hope that there are people trying to get your sentence annulled or deferred, but these programs always include images and videos of prisoners dying a painful death and rows of coffins in mortuaries. Every TV news bulletin seemed to have the same message that many more people all around the world are having their sentences carried out. You try to be philosophical and reflect on the fact that death comes to all human beings at some point, but you're frightened and hope that this nightmare will soon end and you can at least hold your loved ones again. Groundhog Day. I want you to imagine, if you will, that you are frail and elderly or have a serious medical problem. You've been confined to your own home. You learnt a few weeks ago that thousands of people like you are likely to die a painful death if you try to go outside and mix with your family and friends. You've got no idea how the situation came to pass or what you might have done to deserve this death sentence, and nobody seems to know why you are in this situation. Remember the writings of Franz Kafka and hope that this is a nightmare that will soon end. Your home is comfortable with reasonable facilities and food is delivered to you at regular intervals. You can phone, Skype, or WhatsApp your friends and family whenever you want, but no one is allowed to visit you except in exceptional circumstances. And you're allowed one exercise a day, but you cannot socialize with anyone. You've got a television at home showing programs that give you hope that there are people trying to solve the problems that placed you in this situation. But these programs always include images and videos of hospitals with patients dying horrific deaths and rows of coffins in mortuaries. Every TV news bulletin seems to have the same message that many more people all around the world are catching this deadly virus, and people like you are most likely to die this way, alone and without your family around you. You try to be philosophical and reflect on the fact that death comes to all human beings at some point, but you're frightened and hope that this nightmare will soon end and you can at least hold your loved ones again. Green Mile or wake-up call? Sadly, this is not a nightmare, and the truth is that no one has any certainty about how it will end. COVID-19 and its behavior is still not fully understood because the death rates calculated can only be based on people who have been diagnosed with coronavirus. It's perfectly possible that many people who have not displayed any symptoms could have contracted the virus without knowing. And if these people could spread the disease without showing symptoms themselves, there's a serious problem, without even attempting to restore normality. There's a lot of discussion around the fact that So far, there is no identifiable exit strategy that could offer a hope of lifting restrictions. Our best hope lies in the development of an antibody testing kit, which might allow people to get back to work and resume normal life without infecting anyone. But we still don't know whether COVID-19 is a one-time infection that your body becomes immune to, or whether, like influenza, it can hit you again and mutate to different variants. A new and better world order. When the virus first came to light in China and lockdown was quickly applied with serious restrictions on all citizens, you could be forgiven for thinking that China is one of those very few countries that would have the power and authority to impose these conditions on their citizens. Few people could have imagined that countries like the UK and the whole of Europe would soon be following suit and asking and even demanding that their citizens comply with unprecedented restrictions. This virus is the worst global disaster in living memory, and although it has sparked a massive human response of kindness and sacrifice, life is unlikely to be ever the same again. It will be the responsibility of all of us to ensure that our new and emergent lives will be better and more sustainable than the ones that we've left behind.